Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Super Nintendo Collection Quest, the monthly video where I go over my recent Super Nintendo game pickups. I play through them a little bit, do a quick review, and see if it's a game I'd like to come back to. And you have a chance to win a free game for the system of your choice. As a kid, I loved my NES, but when I got my Super Nintendo, that was it. Great graphics, sound, and gameplay. I was hooked. Some of my fondest gaming memories are from playing some of the greatest RPG, adventure, action platformer, and multiplayer games on the SNES. It's my goal to own every North American Super Nintendo game released, so follow me on my quest to Super Nintendo completion. Alright, so this month I picked up number 632 in my collection, the Flintstones, Treasure of the Sierra Madrock. Flintstones, Treasure of the Sierra Madrock plays a bit like Mario Party. Basically, it's played like a board game. Roll the dice to find out how many spaces you can move. Each place you land on the board is either a small level, mini game, mini boss, or shop, among other things. Just watch out for Wilma or she'll drag your ass back home. The small levels play like a simple platformer, where you'll be collecting power-ups, stars, or clams, which are the in-game currency. There is a password system to resume your progress, but I found the game to be a bit repetitive. Number 633, Hook. Hook is probably the game that surprised me the most this month. It was inexpensive and actually pretty fun. It's not without its flaws though, and there are many. But what's so strange about this game is that I feel like its flaws are also what contributes to making the game fun. For example, the controls are terrible. The way you control your character is not what you would expect. It takes some time getting used to, but when you finally master them, it can be quite satisfying. Another thing I don't like is when a game requires memorization to get through instead of skill. This game will repeatedly throw new things at you and will require you to remember how you got past it. So the levels are difficult the first time you play, but get much easier after you know what to expect. And the game is forgiving with retries. You get a set number of lives to complete the stage, but after you complete a stage, you can continue at the beginning of your current stage as many times as you need. So I think it works well for this game. It also does a pretty decent job of telling the story, but Peter could be a real jerk. Those poor kids. There are some pretty unique gameplay elements. For example, locate fairies to replenish your flying meter with fairy dust, and you'll be able to fly for a set amount of time. With this, you might be able to reach secret areas by quickly flying to places which were previously out of reach. So while the game is hard at first, you'll be constantly improving as you go, and you are able to continuously retry. I'm definitely going to come back to this and try to finish this game. Number 634, Football Fury. Football Fury is a football game from Sammy. It features 1 or 2 player game modes, subtle Mode 7 effects, and a password system to resume your progress through playoffs. It does not use licensed team names, but the available teams do correspond to the cities used by actual NFL teams from the 90s. 42 Pink 9 Hut! No, I'm not really into football. Number 635, Joe and Mac 2 Lost in the Tropics. Joe and Mac 2 Lost in the Tropics is a really fun action platformer. You can play single player, 2-player, or super 2-player. As far as I can tell, the only difference seems to be that in super 2-player, you can hit each other, and when you strike the other player, it will briefly stun them. There is an overworld map where you can choose which level you want to go to next, and at the end of each level will be a boss battle, and you'll collect 1 of 7 rainbow stones that you'll need in order to complete the game. Along the way, you'll pick up various fruits and weapons to power up your attack, and stone wheels, which are the in-game currency. At one of the villages, you'll be able to buy upgrades for your house, food to restore health, flowers to attract a girlfriend, which you can eventually have a child with. You can also replay levels to earn more currency if you need to. The game does give you a set number of lives and continues, but there is a password system to resume your progress. Overall, this is a really fun game and it has a lot of things that I look for in Super Nintendo games. Definitely going to be coming back and playing it some more. Number 636, Operation Thunderbolt. Operation Thunderbolt is the sequel to Operation Wolf, a popular gun game in the arcade during the late 80s. Operation Thunderbolt was released on the Super Nintendo in 1994 and is compatible with a standard controller, a mouse, or the Super Scope. I'm currently playing the game with the mouse, and I would recommend to use either the mouse or the Super Scope for faster targeting. Although I do wish the mouse was a bit more sensitive. I currently have it turned up to high speed in the options, and I'm finding myself wishing for even faster targeting. The Super Scope might be the best bet. I don't have one of those yet, oddly enough. In the beginning, it lets you choose your agent and pick your next mission. Each mission is basically an on-rails shooter, where you'll use your machine gun and grenades to take out hundreds of enemies. The game does feature a two-player co-op, which might make things a bit easier. Enemies tend to come out on the screen in waves from one side, then the next side. In single player, I had to keep switching my aim from one side to the other. I think 2 players is probably the way to go with this game. Later stages may seem a bit unfair when there are about 10 targets on the screen you need to take out at any given time. Overall, it's an alright game. I'll probably try it again when I pick up a Super Scope to see if the gameplay is improved. And finally, number 637, R-Type 3, the Third Lightning. R-Type 3, the Third Lightning, is a shooter that features long, challenging levels with lots of variety throughout each stage. While the game is challenging, it does allow you to keep continuing from the last checkpoint. I like this because it might take a few tries before you even realize what you need to do to get through certain areas. Subtle use of Mode 7 rotation and scaling makes for some really interesting situations. I really like the thought that was put into the level design, and the bosses are pretty fun too. But I've always liked shooters, ever since Gradius, which was one of the first few games I got on my first game system. I'm definitely going to come back and play through this. Alright, so that's it for this month. I picked up 6 new games to add to my North American Super Nintendo collection. I'm currently at 637 games and have just over 80 more to go. Alright, let's get on to the game giveaway. So this month's winner for the random free game for the system of your choice is Chris Reyes. Send me a private message, let me know which system you'd like your random free game for, and let me know which address you'd like me to send that out to, and I'll get that out to you. Also, you had mentioned you had a pretty big Super Nintendo collection. If you guys want, when you win, you can actually send me a list of the games you have for the system that you picked out, and I can try to make sure that I don't send you something you already have. But basically, I'll be picking from a pile of duplicates that I have. I have duplicates for many different systems, and I pick these up when I find them for a really good deal so that I can use them for trading or giveaways. If you're interested in entering next month's game giveaway, all you have to do is be subscribed, so subscribe if you aren't already, like the video, and leave a comment down below, and next month I will pick a random winner. Alright guys, that is it for this month. Thank you for watching, I'll see you later.